Hi and welcome. I'm Caroline Beste of Tao of Horsemanship, and today for the blog we are going to be working with Zoar. We'll show you Zoar in a minute. So welcome back to Everything Horses and More. This is Lovey. We're not going to be working with Lovey, but we're going to be talking and demonstrating about my special technique for stopping a bolting horse. So Zoar and I are going to show that to you, but what I wanted the camera to catch is that he's laying down. Hi, honey. So I just like to show everything. Hi, baby. I like to show the whole process of us getting our horses and working with our horses and grooming them and tacking them up, so that you guys see consistently that we work the same way with all of the horses, and the horses are the same. Each of these horses responds the same way. Even though they're unique, their own individuals with their own personalities. Oh, look at that beautiful boy. Look at your beautiful baby. Oh, it's so warm. And your belly's full. You're going to be a lazy horse. We don't have much of a bolt with you. Aw, sweet pea. Good boy. All right, sweet pea. Come on, Biggs. So today I'm going to be showing you with our bareback pad and our bitless bridle, which is really just our rope halter and lead rope tied into a hackamore style. As soon as he decides to get up, come on, babe. You can lay down afterwards. Come on. Come on, sweet pea. No, I think your fan died. Huh. No, maybe not. Let me see. Yep, that one died. Hi, Riley. Yeah, it looked like it was on its last leg. I'll just unplug it. Come on, babe. Come on. Come on, Zoar. Come on. You're not going to be much of a bolting horse today, are you? Come on, Bibs. Come on. Your mama's got to get on ya. Come on, Bib. Come on. Let's get up. Come on. Yep. Come on. Good boy. Good. 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 Oh, good boy. Oh, she says, I'm up now. I'm up now. Oh, You're a good boy. Ah, I love you too, buddy. Oh, here comes our hugging and our loving. The coolest thing, you guys, I try to show you in each of my videos with my horses, and I have a lot of horses, is the relationship and how that's going to keep you safe, because they're going to think about you. They're going to care about you. You notice how Zoar, I've never done that with Zoar. That's our first time. Ask anybody here. But it doesn't matter what the new experience is. He's going to look at me. He's going to see where I am, feel where I am, make sure I'm okay before he goes and gets up. now I have to spend about 10 minutes. He was beautifully cleaned before he lay down. I have to spend 10 minutes just getting you clean now. Oh my gosh, buddy. My buddy. So yes, today is hot in Florida in the summer. Well, fall, it's September. It's in the 90s. Zoar is not going to be a bolting horse per se, but we're going to get him up into a trot and a canter and show you guys this amazing technique. It is not the same technique that everybody else teaches as far as bending a horse to a stop, and we're going to talk about that and when that specific technique is very effective and useful, bending a horse to a stop, and when it's not useful and when it's not going to help you and save you. Zoar used to be one of the most spooky horses I've ever worked with and ridden. He's in the Unpredictable Horse videos, the 2 videos on YouTube. He was much younger. That has a lot to do with it, as I talked about it many years ago. The maturity level of your horse is not necessarily age, just the maturity level has a lot to do with them processing information and thinking. Not to mention the work that my method produces, my training method, as far as getting the left brain, exercising the left brain, the thinking side of the horse. That's the key right there, is to teach your horse how to use their brain so that they're not relying on their instincts all the time. And that's part of it. That's part of the secret, you guys, that I want to talk about. Hi, Sabrina. You do need a thinking horse to be safe, but you need the relationship. It's got to be at least 75%. That's what's keeping Zoar here with me right now. It's not because I hit him or I force him to stand here or he has negative reinforcement and gets in trouble every time he moves. He's staying here because he enjoys it, because he wants to be here. That is not a technique. 75% of my work, at least 75 if not greater, is about the relationship. It's not a technique. But you learn technique. You learn skill sets that are valuable. And today we're going to talk about some of those skill sets. But what I don't want you guys to think is that when you learn this specific technique of mine, that that's going to keep you safe. It's not just about the technique. Look how big this horse is. He's almost 2,000 pounds, 18 hands. You can't stop him if he's bolting. You can't. Can't stop him physically. You cannot. Now maybe if you put a really cruel bit in his mouth and you're a man and you're 10 times stronger than me and you can pull that nose around. But the point I'm making is that's not me and that's not you. Most of us aren't strong enough to deal with a horse like this. We need to get his heart and his head. He's got to be thinking about us. And he's got to want to be with us. That's number one. Come here, babe. Thank you, sweet pea. So while I'm going to show you technique, technique is only going to get you so far. When shit hits the fan. You can stay there, Sabrina. I'm just working around to get this girth just right. And the cobwebs and the mold. Oh, I know your mother hasn't ridden you in months. Months! Come, wake up, Beba. There you go, good boy. So, yep, he knows what I'm doing. He's got one ear on me, eyeball on me. Love. So when I was developing Zoar to be a safer horse, I knew that it was going to take years of him just to grow up, because he was 4 years old when I got him. I knew that. He was going to mature late, be a late bloomer. He's 10 now. He's at a great age for most horses, period. And I also knew I didn't have the time and dedication to put into him because of my work schedule. I had that working against me. I had his age working against me, his past experiences working against me. But I knew that if I followed my own curriculum, my own foundation training, and did what I could and was consistent, all those things would come together. And they have. Hey, sweet boy. All right, I'm going to grab my water. You're going to help me. So, let's see if I can get on. Look at all this stuff. All these horses are taught to come help you no matter where you are, especially when you ride bareback. Thank you, Big. Nope, we're not going that way, son. He's like, what is that noise? My water, which he's used to. Okay, and out we go. So yes, I have a thinking horse, you guys. You have to have a thinking horse. You have to teach your horse to back up to light contact, which I showed you with Sundance in the video released not too long ago. You have to have these things working for you, like doing a turn on the haunches like I just did. You have to have this level of technique, or you're going to need a big bit and you're going to pull forever. And that's not the way I train, and that's not being safe. So you do need to put the time in to teach your horse some good skills. Meaning these horses need to know their leg yields, how to move off your leg, how to side pass, turn on the haunches, turn on the forehand. They need to be able to stop with one rein and back up with light contact. So you have to teach your horse how to become responsive. So again, everything that I'm talking about is getting their mind on you. Your horse paying attention to the subtlety of your cues, the subtlety. Not the yanking and the pulling and the snatching around and the bit that causes pain. And that's why the horses respond. Oh, Sabrina, we're going to get that, love. Thank you. Thank you. So Zoar's awake now and alert. He's checking in with all his horses, all his herd. Hi, baby. So yes, Zoar and I, if I can reach that, we have all the skills and technique to side pass up to that gate and move the gate, which means I'm going to have to pick the gate up with my foot because or my hand if I can, or Zoar's going to get it. Thank you. Or Zoar's going to get it, you guys. Again, a thinking horse. Good boy. Thank you, love. And we are going to close it. Isn't that pretty cool? So I have been a judge and a designer of some of the Horse World Expo's obstacle courses. I am a working equitation instructor, so you bet every time I train horses, and especially my own, I am working on it's a good boy. So where I'm going with that is I know how amazing and amazingly important it is to have your horse respond to these types of cues. Again, they're set up, these cues, which can be in reining and in dressage, to develop your horse, to develop their mind, their partnership. You want to develop a responsive horse, a light horse. That's the first step, you guys, to stopping a bolting horse. You all right there? Thank you, Biggs. I'll put this here knowing that one of the horses is probably going to mess with it. Okay, I'm also going to put it up on the round pen and grab myself a dressage, come pay attention to me, dressage whip, and I'll show you guys why. Because I'm teaching you a couple of the steps here on how to develop this. Not that I have to use it right now. Thank you, Big. Wait. All right. Let me grab this little guy. Good boy. Okay, So just like I showed you in my video with Sundance, how to help your horse become light to contact and responsive to contact. You know, this crop that I have here, or dressage whip, is just an add-on. I call it an add-on. It's not a teaching tool. So an add-on could be your leg, could be a cluck, a smooch, or a tapping of this whip. And so when I want to teach my horse to tune in and become more responsive to the subtlety of my hands, the lightness of my hands, if I know that they're going to push back or push through. And also there's so many varying degrees of this, especially if you've got a more sensitive horse that might have had some really negative riding experiences. You're going to have trigger points, so you have to be really careful with your aids because it might trigger them. So I know that Zoar does not have an issue with the whip, so I don't have to work with that to desensitize him, so to speak, or to make sure that he's very confident and trusting with me and the whip. I don't have to work on that, but I would definitely recommend that you do that before you use a tool like this, because so many horses have been abused by these whips. The whips have been used incorrectly. So, you know, my gosh, you go to pick up a whip like this and this big monster, 2,000 pounds, is running sideways to get away from it. And Zoar is so agile. So this is a historical fact about big horses, draft horses. They know innately, instinctively, that their size is a hindrance on some level. They know that their size, that they can push through things. They know that they can, that they're very powerful. But they also know that it takes them twice as long to get out of the way and to move when there's a threat. So that's what makes a horse, especially this guy, be able to literally spin, sit back on his haunches, you guys, do a roll back, basically a little perch or levade, and spin around and bolt the other direction. He is so fast. And yeah, so you have to pay attention to a horse like Zoar. You have to really know this type of a horse, or any horse that is predisposed to bolting for whatever reason. You have to work on that, work on their confidence, work on all of these things. And then when you go to apply either the bend, you want to bend them, you need to bend them. We're going to back up just a little bit more, get away from the camera a little bit. So I do want to be able to, at the halt, have a bend like this. You bet I do. Absolutely. And I want to be able to bend him down from a trot into an immediate halt or a walk or a small circle, and we're going to talk about that. But there's no way when a horse is bolting or cantering that you're able to bend them to a halt. Just remember that. You can't take that kind of speed and shut it down into a bend, because you'll flip them over. And I don't know, I've never been in a situation on a bolting horse where I was able to ever bend them. The only thing that's ever stopped me was a technique I'm going to show you guys. Now, before I show it to you, and then I'll explain it a little bit, you just have to know there's a lot more work that goes into creating this response from Zoar and doing this technique. There's a lot more steps and a lot more work. And if you're interested, you need to join my Mastery membership program. It's my start to finish, it's my foundation. It teaches you how to train your horse, how to start them or restart them and work through a multitude of challenges that will arise during the training process. I'm not going to get into all of that. Let's wake this big bloke up. So again, you need to have a horse that's supple and light. If he can't back up with this light contact, there's a problem. Because when you go to pull on a horse and they're bolting, good luck. They are not going to feel you, and they certainly aren't going to be paying attention to you. But it's going to be a lot easier when a horse gets excited, when they're this connected to you, both in the relationship and in the light contact. It's so much easier for you to just shut that door down like I just did, close my hands around the reins, and look, he already took a step back. Because he's already being taught or been taught through a lot of conditioning, consistency and repetition, how to respond to light contact. And Zoar is one of the toughest horses I've ever worked with, not only being a bolting horse, but just being thick-headed, and you know, there's a sensitivity and intelligence with draft horses that's amazing, but there can also be a dullness to them. And Zoar came with a lot of prior training, behaviors, really negative training before I got him as a youngster. We spent a lot of time undoing those behaviors. And whatever training he had endured, it made him worse when he came to me. He was very dull. He was very worried, very stressed out, very anxious. Good boy. So I like that he's stretching and relaxed. So you're reading my horse. My horse looks really relaxed right now. Different than a high headset, right? So let's get him into a bigger walk. Good. Just watch what I'm going to do. Slide my hands down, sit back, and just pull that rein up. You need to have this level of response to start with at the walk. So good boy. Come. Good. Come. Yep, pay attention to me. Good boy. Thank you. So once we have this going really well at the walk, and I can do 3 very responsive and fluid steps, back-up steps, 3 of them. So here's our halt. Shorten my reins. Notice how I shorten, I don't pull. 1, 2, 3, tap, to get them to be a little bit more responsive to my hands. Come. Good. Good. Yep, good. Good. All I want is response right now. I don't care how straight he is. Excellent. Good boy. Good baby. Good boy. So just to quickly review before we move on, you definitely want your suppling. You want to be able to turn this horse and bend him to the right and not have his feet move. And you want to be able to do that in both directions consecutively. That's 1 in each. We're going for 2 to the right. We're going to go for 2 second to the left and a third. I want to have this flexibility with my horse. The more he moves his feet, the more opposition he tells me he has, or the more uncomfortability he has. So a horse that has a busy mouth or busy feet has a busy mind. So you need to practice this at the halt and while you're walking before you ever add speed, and it has to be done correctly. Correctly means you're not pulling on your horse, you're teaching your horse how to respond to light contact, and that's why we have add-ons, aids, to help reinforce lightness. If you want to learn this in more depth and really how to train your horse or others, I have my program. It's for trainers and for horse owners alike. Good boy. You have to have this level of maneuverability because it's teaching the horse to think and teaching him to trust you at the same time. I'm a rehab specialist and a foundation specialist. I've gotten so many horses, including Zoar, that could not focus on those types of cues. And the more you pushed, like with Zoar, the more he'd want to blow and bolt, because it takes a lot of trust to give you 100% of that horse's attention. And that's what I'm trying to reinforce with you guys. It's not all about technique. You've got to have this horse's mind on you. Good boy. And you can see his eye and his ears on me. So now that we have a good halt and a really nice backup, good booba, we're going to work on the trot. And I'm going to demonstrate to you how it should be bending a horse at the trot to a stop, as well as shutting it down, complete halt, and backing it. You're teaching horses that as soon as they feel this contact to not only release themselves from it, which means release, back up, but to back up. Again, this helps with horses that have way too much go, as well as bolters, and work in a safe environment. So we're going to pick up a little trot here. Come on. We've been off for many months. So we're running around. We've got our circle. Come, babe. Come, lazy. Good boy. Nope, I don't want a canter. So here's our left bend. Left bend. Drop your other rein and bend. Bend. Sit back and bend. You don't need this other hand. Trust me, with Zoar, when he would bolt, I would be right here. Right, Janine? Janine's witnessed everything in the last 4 years with this horse. I thought about getting rid of him, trust me. I'm like, I don't need to get hurt, and I'm not gonna cowboy you up. Not that that's where he was headed, but I don't have the strength and I don't have the time that this horse needed. But I love him, and it's worked, and he's had the time. Good boy. Here we go again. Left rein. Pull out, out, out into your thigh. Out into your thigh. Put your knuckles on your thigh. That's your best leverage. Good boy. Granted, if he's scared, I am not going to be able to bend him. There is no way. And I'll show you another technique that I've done with many horses that have bolted on me, and you can't stop them. So I've got a loose rein, so just watch. I'm going to bend them to the right, but I'm going to lean real far forward. Good. And grab all the way up here. Yep, you better have good balance as a rider. Grab all the way up there, pull that nose around and lean back. Got to have a strong core. You got to have a good balance, and I don't even have a saddle on. If I had a saddle, I'd feel even safer, and I would be a lot safer. Good boy. After Zoar bolted with me the first and last time, I did ride in my helmet and my dressage saddle with him for a while. Again, we're going to slide the hand down and pull out, out, out. He's strong. That's why you don't want to meet a horse this strong with a lot of force. They'll get stronger and more oppositional. It's by nature. It's instinctive. Got to teach these guys to get lighter and to get become more responsive to lightness. It's the exact opposite of what everyone's teaching. Everyone's get stronger, use a bigger bit. No, teach these guys to get softer, to become more responsive, but you have to learn how to do that. You have to learn how to do that. He was not taught that when he came to me as a 4-year-old. All right, so now we're going to do my secret little technique here. And what are we going to do? Okay, picked up speed, slide your hands down, sit back and grab. Look at that. That happened a lot faster than bending him, and I didn't lose my balance, nor was I taken off my balance point by stretching and reaching down. So the point I'm trying to make is a speed faster than a walk, and you go to bend these horses to an emergency stop is only going to get you so far. If you have a saddle, sure, it's going to keep you in place. You're going to feel a lot safer. Absolutely. I understand that. But the point I'm making is with these big horses, or if you're not strong enough and the horse pulls his nose in the opposite direction, you better be ready to go and bend to that direction, or you're going to have to figure out something else. So let's now see this at the canter. We are both very out of shape, you guys. Yes, that is your friend, Sabroso. This is not a social event, my dear. So come on, let's go. Come on, lazy. I know, I know. It's just way too hot here in Florida for a big guy like this in the summer. Come on. Yep, come on. So we're going to ask for a canter. Let's see how well we do. Come on. Come on. We might get a little buck. Just let him go. I'm going to... Basically, I just came to an emergency stop in my seat, and he stopped. But he's also really out of shape and lazy. Oh, come on, big. Let's do that again. So it's not pretty, you guys. Good. Good boy. Oh, you big oaf. Okay, good boy. Thank you. So I'm letting him go as if he's run away with me a little bit. We're going to do a bend to a stop. Sit back, sit back, sit back. So it kind of went down to a trot, to a halt. Believe me, I'm using my stomach like crazy, you guys. He's pretty responsive. If he really wanted to bolt like he did years ago, I would not be successful. But because we've done this mental work and he's grown up and we have a really great relationship, it all helps. I'm so sick of these professionals out there trying to give you smoke and mirrors, trick you into thinking it's just one simple technique. It's not. Good boy. Come on. I've seen you get up and go out there pretty beautifully, Bubba. Okay, now we're going to do my way. A lot faster, huh? And what's cool is you've already seen him anticipating, asking, looking at me while he's cantering. Are we ready? He's looking at me. I can see him looking. Are we ready? Or when are we going to stop? So you're teaching that brain too. When are we going to stop? Is she going to ask now? Is she going to ask now? Does that make sense? I hope. It's a lot more involved than you think though. Come on, let's go. Let's do this to the left. Good booby. He's breathing heavy. Good. Good. Come on. Bend to the left. Not every horse is as balanced as Zoar, so good luck with that. Oh, he's exhausted already. He's so out of shape. And let's look at my quick shorten the reins. Again, slide your hand down, shorten. Either pick up both or just pick up with one. Good boy. Thank you, sweet. Thank you. Sweets is part of your registered name, buddy. You are sweet too. Good boy. Thank you. He'd like to buck, but he's too lazy. Good. Come on. Here we go. Emergency stop. My way. Yep, you want your horse responding like that, thinking about that. All right, that's a pretty quick video. As I mentioned, thank you. There's a lot more that goes into it, a lot more technique and development. A quick review, work on your relationship so your horse wants to be with you, even in the work. Even in the work, we work hard, but we work together. There's always a relationship. That's got to be at least 75%. That's what's going to save you. The other is the technique, but it's not just one technique. The ultimate technique is slide your hands down, lift up, and you could teach your horse to become responsive to this contact. That's the ultimate goal. But there's many steps and building blocks to getting this. And getting a horse that is so responsive to your leg, to your seat, to your cues. You need that level of responsiveness, that engagement from your horse to pay attention to the subtleties of your request. And then if I need to, pop, 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 a couple little pops with the crop to say, hey, don't be so lazy. Pay attention to me, to this lightness. All right, if you guys have any questions, please leave them in the comments area or email me personally. Thank you. May you always be one with your horse.